Greetings. Peace. What's good? What's good? The real Don Watt. Sugar Rain. Y'all the first ones up in here. How y'all feeling? Hmm? How y'all doing on a Saturday? Stevens Estate. What's going on? Peace. Peace, Kip. Sinners 2's coming. Sinners 1 was real deep. I ended up diving in a little bit more than expected by doing that production. So I'm letting it marinate. I'm letting people absorb this. People still watching part 1. So I'm gonna come with part 2. Don't you worry about it. Good to see you too. Peace and love, Dexter Young. How y'all doing? Every time I come on here, I tell y'all, yeah, I'm gonna be back real soon. And it'd be another month or two. That's how life be lifing though. That's how life be lifing. How are y'all doing on a wonderful Friday? In the heat wave, getting fricasseed. Cosmic Allah, how you doing? Peace and love, Seymour's Head, LLC, Donnie G. Was Gucci, Big Roy 9828. Yeah, y'all coming on through here, man. Coming on through. Yeah, I wanted to talk about Duckflower today a little bit, you know. And it's real interesting. Everybody calls it Duckflower. Flor de Pato is the name of it on the site. And it's called Duckflower because it's shaped like a duck, essentially, right? But I ended up coming up with another name for it, Duckflower, aka duct flower. Like duct tape or the air ducts, right? Or the ducts in your body, because essentially what this plant is doing is it's squeezing and extrapolating the essences out of the ducts, clearing the ducts out. You got lymphatic ducts, right? Glandular ducts, all these ducts where all of these high energy fluids come out of, and they get stuck up, they get backed up, you know. Seymour's Head LLC. Are you ready? If you're ready, then info@soionicbotanicals.com. Info at, and then this right here. All right. Let me know if you're ready. But yeah, we got a few people that were ready and they jumped off. A lot of people said they needed more time, but we do have a few people that jumped on it, and they've been flipping. They've been doing their thing. So if you want to jump on the bandwagon and get flipping too, so be it. Now, another thing that you might want to know is that I recently put the 10 liters up on the site. Now, you can't just buy it flat out on the site. It's up on the site. So if you're interested, then you send us an email and be like, yo, I want them 2.5 gallons. I need that 10 liters. So that's going to be less than the distribution, because with the distribution, you're getting Nessu nectar, you getting labels, you franchising and everything like that. With this, you just taking the honey for yourself, or you want to turn it into a product, or whatever you want to do. It's up to you. But I have the 10 liters available. So you go to the site, you see it right there. Boom. You hit us up with the info at Soionic Botanicals. Say, yo, I am interested in getting that big old jug of honey. And then, we'll holler back at you. No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, how many of y'all done had Duckflower before? Let's see. Let's see in the chat. Let me know. I got my blue blockers on today because I've been slipping the last few times I've been on here, trying to look all cool. Let's see. By a show of hands, how many of y'all then had some Duckflower? Who done ate the Duckflower and hucka chucked? Huh? Ooh. Tell me. Let me know. While y'all do that, I'll go over here. Yeah. Excuse me. Let's see. Nobody done had any duck flour in here, I don't believe. Not yet. Need a source I can trust. So thanks. Yeah. I'm right here. They're on the site right now, actually. They're on the site right now. So you can go to So Ionic Botanicals and get you one. Nope, not sold out today. Not today. Not today. Duckflower is available. But let me know. Let me know. Okay, none of y'all didn't add any yet. What's up, Melanated Brown? Thank you for all of the empowering words. Yeah. Duckflower was solid. All right, so let me get started. I know it's a Friday and it's like hot and people probably out and about. But yeah, so Duckflower, the sacred botanical that purges the body's hidden rivers. Okay, so in ancient traditions in Central America, um, Caribbean, and a lot of our indigenous healing systems, a plant known as duckflower, which is also known as Aristolochia grandiflora. This is the same plant as contribo. People heard of the word contribo before, and they get that herb, whether it's the vine tied up in those little rings, or it's powdered, or it's chopped up. But that's the vine, and the flower that comes from that liana is the duck flower. All right. So it's been revered as a master detoxifier. All right. Dr. Sebi is the one that put it on the map, of course, not to say nobody else was using it before him, but he made it more mainstream, and it is known for its ability to produce a deep purge of mucus, waste, parasites, and spiritual heaviness. Okay. Spiritual heaviness. So it's not just a physical purge. It is also a spiritual purge. It is a mental purge. It is an emotional purge. All right. It's getting the gunk out. So for people who take detoxes throughout the year, duck flower is like taking a 6-month detox within 6 hours. It lasts between about 4 to 6 hours. I was out when I was pushing the Paradise Purge earlier in the year, which is still available. But for anybody who's interested in getting the Parasite Purge package still, I am going to include in the Parasite Purge a duck flower. So that's anybody getting it from this point forward. I know it's June 27th, it's 421. That's how I'll know. If you order it, you're going to get duck flower in your Paradise Purge. And what I would suggest is before taking the rest of the Paradise Purge, you take the duck flower, go through that, replenish with electrolytes, take a breather, and then pursue with the rest of the package over the next. Yeah, that package lasts about 2 months because of all of the products up in there. So that's about 2, maybe 2.5, and that's gonna really kind of like get all that stuff up out of you. And it's summertime, so our pores open, we're wide open. This is the time where we eat the lightest foods and everything. So any stuff that done got like held back inside of your system, it's coming out now. You could have been trying ever since the winter, but now that it's summertime and it's hot outside, it's going to push all that out. I wouldn't give any of it to a dog. I don't know anything about how it acts with pets. And then also you should only give it to adults. So, 17 and older. Don't be giving your kid no duck flower. Kids don't need real intense herbs. Their body's already functioning on at a high capacity. So you give them sea moss, you give them foods with a lot of vitamin C, you get them outside so they get their vitamin D popping, you give them honey, maybe things like mucilage or simple basic herbs, you know what I mean? Elderberry syrup and stuff like that, but you don't have to go contribo with the children. All right. So yes, anybody who gets now the duck flower is available on its own. You can just get it. But if you really want to go hard and get the the purge package gold, get the gold purge package, you get the duck flower with it. All right. So what if duck flower was actually a linguistic breadcrumb pointing to its true nature? Duct flower with a T, not a K. All right. A botanical agent that purges, clears, and reopens the body's ducts or internal rivers. All right. So let's touch on that just a little bit. Okay. Now, the ducts of the body are the body's fluid conduits. We 90% water and we're very fluid, hence why we dance, we move. You see how our muscles are shaped, you see how our anatomy is. Channels that transport secretions from glands and organs to where they are needed or expelled. Major duct systems include your salivary ducts, right? Wharton-Sten, you got a whole bunch of those. The biliary tree, right? Intrahepatic, hepatic, cystic, and common bile ducts. This is the liver and the gallbladder. Pancreatic ducts, huh? Sweat and sebaceous ducts, millions across the skin. Lacrimal ducts, reproductive ducts like the vas deferens, ejaculatory ducts. Bartholins and the skeens in the women. Skeens, that's where that fluid come from. Mammary ducts, all right? Lactiferous and alveolar. Each of these systems can become blocked by mucus, toxins, parasites, scar tissue, or stagnation. Blocked ducts are like dams in rivers. They result in toxicity, stagnation, emotional repression, and organ dysfunction. Yes. Is it possible to be allergic to omega 3s? No, not really, because omegas actually help with the histamines and all of that stuff. So I don't see that, but All right, so your ducts are the waterways. You got a million pores all over your skin, little mouths, little noses that are constantly breathing in and out air, right? Peace, GS from the Shy. Can we take psyllium husk with your product? Yeah, psyllium husk is good. What's your advice on losing water weight or weight in general next to nutrition? Get some more diuretics. Diuretics help to release excess water. Grounding, taking salt with your water so the water is actually being absorbed. Or you could take a herb called horse chestnut. All right. Horse chestnut helps with a lot of that excess water as well. Yeah. So your ducts are these waterways. You got your pancreatic duct and your gallbladder duct and your liver duct, right? And your reproductive ducts. These are all areas where your body's constantly making these divine fluids that are to assist in, all aspects of your body functioning at its highest level. And just like think about using ketchup. You ever notice how after ketchup's been used a couple of times, you open up the cap and the ketchup get all crusty, it starts dehydrating and it might plug up the hole, or you might get Dr. Bonner's castile liquid soap, right? And you've been using that, and what happens after a while, it starts to crust up around the hole that you squirt the soap out, or you squirt the ketchup out, and you're trying to get the ketchup out, you're trying to get the soap out, but you can't, right? Because it's all crusted over. So you got to, take the top off, rinse it off, clean it real well so that that passageway is open. So now when you squeeze the ketchup, it comes out easy. Now when you squeeze the soap comes out easy, I don't think anybody likes to throw up, but people also don't like being sick, dying, overweight, and just managing a chronic condition for 10, 11 years, So if you have to deal with a little discomfort for about 4 hours to overcome something that you're dealing with for a decade, then that's not that bad to do. You know, make sure you have somebody, in the house with you to make sure you're good and stuff like that. But yeah, man, Duckflower is where it's at. Peace and love, Shelly. Okay. I ain't even about to repeat that one. So the fluids in the body, the portals, the passageways, the thresholds, the ducts, they need to be able to stay open so that there's an, open flow, easy flow. There's nothing inhibiting or obstructing the flow of those fluids. You see, so the duct flower is a flower that helps to cleanse out all the ducts. It purges all the mucus, the parasites, the gunk, whatever it is that is inhibiting those things from flowing how they need to flow. Oh, you removed it? Yeah, because I was trying to read it, but I was like, I don't know if that's what they trying to say. you know Nah, duck flower isn't just for chronic illness. You could be fine and still take duck flower. You're just gonna feel even better. Look, all of us are live. Yeah, if you're in the States, you're living in a poisonous environment. I don't care how healthy you are. They spraying, there's stuff in the foods, there's stuff in the air. You have in your house, and the sun comes through the window and you see that beam of light. All right. It doesn't illuminate the whole house. You just see that beam of sunlight come through, right? And when you see that beam of sunlight, looking at beam of sunlight, you see all this stuff floating around, right? Little particles and stuff, just, you know what I mean? You don't see that with the beam of light not being there, but that's the stuff that you're breathing in. That's the stuff laying on your skin. That's the stuff going in your nose, in your mouth, on your hair, on your hands, in your eyes, everywhere, on your food and your drink. So we're constantly pulling things inside of our body. This is why our alimentary canal has a mucus lining, this guy right here, right? And if I take his lungs out, this is the liver, that's the stomach, pink right there, large intestines, small intestines, right? But as the food goes down the throat, there's a mucus lining, right? A skin. And that skin is what traps and holds all of that stuff floating around. And, we have bacteria that go throughout our digestive system that assist with all that stuff. But sometimes when they're overworked and overwhelmed, they will harmful bacteria will proliferate and beneficial bacteria will start to break down, and then that creates more problems and more inflammation as well. So taking something like this is a shock to the system. It's like if anybody was trying to invade a country, right? They're going to try and do this when people least expect it, right? So imagine folks out barbecuing and chilling by the pool and shooting each other with water guns and water balloons, guy and a girl macking each other, on the side and everything like that. People eating watermelon, just living their life. And then all of a sudden a bomb drops. All of a sudden there's a plane comes through shooting or something like that. Like that's going to catch them off guard. So duck flower is just like that. It's like surprise attack. No parasite, none of them bugs have any time to react to what's happening. It's like you just swoop in and you take out the enemy immediately. Now you feel uncomfortable in the midst of it, because you have to get out your own way. It's like we're not able to bite ourselves. Like I could bite, but psychologically, like subconsciously, my mind's not gonna allow me to really like bite down. But I could bite somebody else though, or somebody could bite me. So with the duck flower, it's like you're getting out of your own way and causing your body to kind of go through this violent expulsion of matter that you would normally do because it's so uncomfortable, you know? Yeah, duck flour is, as long as you didn't get it when it was still fresh and it was put in plastic and it molded, it got mold on it, of course not. But if it's been dried out and you've had it in a pack, it should still be good. Just read the instructions or contact whoever it is. And if it's me, then just let us know. But you should be fine. You put it in some water overnight, you let it soak, reconstitute itself, drink the water that it was soaking in, and then eat that thing up. And then within the hour, you're gonna start sweating, you're gonna feel queasy, your mouth gonna start watering, then you're gonna start throwing up, you're gonna want to urinate, you're gonna want to defecate, you're gonna sweat. Women will have discharges come out, you know. And then when you vomit, some people vomit different colors. They'll vomit yellow and white and green and brown. All type of stuff just start coming out. But when you're done, you drink some coconut water, something with some electrolytes in there, maybe some watermelon juice or something. You take some watermelons, blend it up with some lime, drink that. And that'll replenish you from all the fluids, that came out through all of that, because you don't want to do all that and not replenish yourself. But yeah, you're gonna feel amazing afterwards, like coming out of the ocean, coming out of some hot springs or something. Your blood's gonna be flowing, all your ducts gonna be operating, and then guys who have erectile dysfunction and women that might have a lot of dryness down there, that's gonna help too, because a lot of us are plugged up. Men, our phallus is spongy, and it's all of these caverns and tunnels that the blood flows through and fills up in order for us to have erections. But if those cavernous tubules and networks down there are blocked, then the blood won't pool as efficiently as it needs to. So it's like if you're filling up a water balloon at the sink, you fill it up only a third of the way. You try and throw that at somebody, it's going to be all floppy and it's going to bounce on the ground and it ain't going to pop, right? And you fill a water balloon up to its fullest extent and throw it, that thing busts. So you want to make sure you filling your balloon all the way up, so it's going to help in that regard as well. I would say, hydration in any capacity is going to be good. I say coconut water, because coconut water is the original Gatorade. It's the original IV drip. It has the best B vitamins and water soluble nutrients in it, and it's going to help because of the electrolytes that it has. 1 second, y'all. One second. Let me see. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So let's go back to what I was reading. All right. So, like I said, blocked ducts are like dams in a river. They result in toxicity, stagnation, emotional repression, and organ dysfunction. Okay. So let's talk about that. So, in healing, we have 4 modalities, right? We have spiritual, right? We got emotional, right? We got mental, and we got physical. Now, when we talk about our hormones, all of our hormones are secreted by glands. These glands have ducts. The ducts is the passageway that these particular fluids come out of, right? Now, you want to make sure that your hormones stay balanced and are in harmony. Based upon the balance of your hormones, this is men and women, not just women, right? This determines your attitude, your disposition, how you interact with people, how you think, how you operate throughout the day. If your cortisol is all the way up, you stressed, and your adrenaline is all the way up, you stressed, right? You know, if your dopamine has dropped exponentially, right? Like all of these particular neurotransmitters and hormones, they fluctuate and they have to be they have to resonate with each other. It's think of a equalizer in a studio, how you see all those dials. And when music is being produced in the studio, if you look at all of those levels, they're not parallel to, they're not like mirroring each other. One's all the way up here, one's down here, one's in the middle, right? Because they are balancing each and every tune that's up in there to get that sound to just be perfect, right? So your hormones, your neurotransmitters, they have to be adjusted the same way. Your dopamine's here, your serotonin is here, your estrogen is here, your testosterone is here, your progesterone is here. Like it has to be balanced. And when it's not, that affects your energy and motion. That affects how you emote. That affects how you're able to process how you feel or what you're going through and how to let that thing out. Right. So that's why, you know, doing purges and things like Duckflower, you know, when you're kind of forcefully pushing all of this stuff out of your body and out of your system, this is how you're able to be in a better disposition. This is how you're in a better state emotionally, because you know you're able to help your hormones, you're able to help all these other areas in your body, and it ends up relating to how you process your environment or the relationship you have with other people and how you get affected. You know, somebody tells you to get out your way and you ain't got no sleep in the past 24 hours versus you got sleep and you nutrient dense and got everything you need, is going to be two different responses. One is going to be like somebody tell you to get out their way. You're going to be like, you might feel a little bit like, hey, why they had to come at me like that? But they probably not having a good day either. So it's like, all right, buddy, what's up? Play on, man. Handle your business, man. I mean, let me move out the way. I ain't trying to get in your way wherever you got to go, you know. But let's say you don't get that sleep and someone say, get out the way. You're going to be like, what the, how about I get in your way? And then it becomes a whole thing, right? So how you feel and what you're going through definitely affects how you interact with the world, you know? So you want to make sure you purge and you cleanse for that. It's called Flor de Pato, is what it's called on the site, because that's Spanish for duck flower. Flor de Pato, Flor de Pato. It is there. It better be there. Why y'all saying it ain't there? Y'all talking about it ain't there. It better be there. Let's see. Let me check something out real quick. Um, yeah, if you go to featured products on the site, yeah, it's there. Flor de Pato. It's right before the H pack. Just go to products and go to um, featured products. When you scroll down, you'll see it there. But it's, yeah, you see it now. Yeah, Flor de Pato. Pato means duck. Flor means flower. So it's like flower of duck, you know, duck flower. All right. Let me get back to that. Okay. So yeah, duck flower is the great unblocker. Duck flower activates the body's purging response with unparalleled intensity. Vomiting expels the upper GI mucus and toxins. Diarrhea cleanses the colon and bile ducts. Sweating opens sweat glands and eliminates water-soluble toxins. Mucus expulsion through nose, lungs, vagina, and gut. It also acts on ducts of elimination, forcing the body to release hidden waste stored deep in interstitial spaces, ducts, and lymphatic vessels. In metaphysical terms, this is a reset of the body's hydraulic and electromagnetic system. Yes, let me get y'all a. This is a lymphatic duct, a lymphatic nodule, actually. Okay, a lymph node. All right, so the lymphatic duct, right, would be it exiting outward. Okay. Right. This is the lymphatic duct coming from the lymph node. Okay. The red and the blue represents the vessels, the artery vessels, right? Arterioles. The blue represents the veins and the venules. And then when they connect, those are the capillaries. All right. These are glandular cells that are going to produce all of the good stuff of the lymph node. All right. So, women, when y'all putting on your deodorant over time and one day you're washing in the shower and you feel that little lump, right? That's because these lymph nodes got clogged up with all that aluminum from that deodorant or whatever toxins is in them beauty products. And it becomes hardened, like a stone, right? And then now you have this hardened lymph node in there, right? And then, you get growths. And a lot of times when we see pictures of the white growths that they say are tumors or whatever in the body, they're actually egg sacs from parasites. It wasn't, okay. It's the guasima fruit on the site. Guasima fruit, quinaroja, right? Yeah. Or both of those you can make a hair wash with, for sure. Yeah, so this is the lymph node. So it cleanses this guy out. Gets him working like he's supposed to. Okay. So, okay, in metaphysical terms, this is a reset of the body's hydraulic and electromagnetic system. So yeah, you have fluids that are acid, you have fluids that are alkaline. The difference between alkaline and acid is voltage. The more alkaline, the more voltage, the more pressure. The more acidic, the less voltage, the less pressure. So as acidic things are flowing and alkaline things are flowing and getting secreted and pulsating and flowing throughout your body, you are creating frequencies and certain energy dynamics in your system. But when it's blocked up, that's like a short in the house. You turn the switch on and the light comes on and it cuts off, trips the breaker. You got to go to wherever your breaker box is, flip it back on. Why? Because there's a short, because somehow, some way, keep coming up with funky at like every single you have wires that are bleeding out current, electrons. It's spilling out, you got a hole in your cup and you're trying to drink some juice and it's just dripping and spilling, and eventually it's just not enough stored capacitance in order for things to keep going, and it just like collapses. So you need to get your fluids together so you can get your electricity and your energy together as well. We just passed the solstice, we dealing with a heat wave. Our body, when we're in this type of temperature of 100+ degrees, you are constantly evaporating fluids. There's so much water that's leaving your body. As much as the melanin is benefiting from the heat and the intensity of the sun, what makes melanin so dynamic is not melanin on its own, but melanin in the environment of water, because it is liberating the plasma and the coherence domains that exist inside water this is what melanin is doing, especially when it's activated by the sun. But you have to be hydrated, and you have to constantly be hydrated for melanin to work, as efficiently as it's meant to be. And as I mentioned earlier, for those that are interested in the wholesale, I also have the 10 liters available on its own now, for people that don't want to go by the Netsu Nectar label and everything. You want to do your own thing, or you just want to have that honey, in storage or in stock. That's available now on the site too. You can't purchase it, but it's on the site. And I tell people, if you want this, inquire through the email, let me know, and I give you a personal call. Everybody who's actually gotten a wholesale move forward with, I deal with them directly one-on-one, so I'll be dealing with you directly one-on-one if that's something that you're interested in. All right, so let's go to active compounds of the duck flower. Duck flower's effects are due to a synergy of bitter alkaloids, acids, oils, and saponins, key constituents. Now, Contribo and duck flower get a lot of flack because it's in the family of Aristolochia, and aristolochic acid can be very harmful to the kidneys and the liver because it actually forms adducts in the DNA. And what an adduct is when a molecule is able to kind of fit in between the rungs of the DNA ladder and pretty much change a gene, essentially. All right. So let's see if we, oh yeah, I got my, you should be right behind me. Where you at? No. This is my best dad ever. Nope. Let's see. Where are you? Okay. There we go. Looking for my mops. All right, so that's DNA. Right? That's DNA. Okay. So the purple is the strands, right? And the yellow and blues and greens, those are the steps of the DNA. So when something intercalates DNA and makes a DNA adduct, that means that it is going in between where you see these colors. The same way these colors are stacked up, and it ends up stacking up with the colors. Now, what makes that dangerous is that this stack, right here, this section right here could constitute information for a gene. So this gene ends up getting transcribed by messenger RNA given to ribosomes, and you make hemoglobin, right? Or you make some type of enzyme or protein from this section. But if I intercalate, if I go in between these, then when it gets transcribed and the ribosomes get it the bill, they're gonna be like, well, it kind of looked like hemoglobin, but it got this other stuff in here. So we're gonna make cyanoglobin. You know what I mean? We're gonna make some copper-based hemoglobin, like what you find in octopi and squids or something, right? Jungle Brothers, hey. So that's what that does. Now, this is if you're this is if you're taking it again and again and again and again and again and a certain amount of it. And also if you're not combining it with other herbs, that's going to help with that process, you see. But in this instance with the duck flower, like nobody's taking duck flower once a month, not even once a quarter, maybe twice a year. Okay, most people taking it once a year, once every other year. They ain't, after they have that experience, they're like, I ain't about to jump in there like that again. So just be mindful of that. It Contribo and that duck flower can both be harmful when you're just taking a lot of it over time and you don't understand how to properly combine certain herbs so you don't suffer from the effects of liver damage, kidney damage that they have on record with a lot of studies. I haven't had that issue, but based on the research and the studies, you just have to be mindful of those things. As far as natural chlorophyll is concerned, can you give me a few vegetables I can juice, please? I would appreciate it. Of course. The juice that I like to do, this is the juice that I share with a lot of my clients. This is the juice that I gave to Rich to help with the mother of his children, is his his wife. This is the juice that I gave to my queen. She wanted to tighten up a little bit and it helped her out. This is the juice that I learned from my mama. I passed down. I helped a friend of mine with his eye health way before the honey was around. And that is collards, kale, collards, kale, cucumbers, some apples, right? What am I leaving out? Collards, and dandelion greens. Yeah, juice that up. You can add lemon and ginger. That adds a little flavor to it. But the apples, along with them greens, when you put the right amount of apples in there, man, let me tell you, it's the bee's knees right there. It's the bee's knees right there. But you're welcome. That's for you. That's for you. All right. So we got berberinic alkaloids up in there. When you're talking about berberine, that's for the gut. Protoberberines, aporphines, flavonoids, tannins, saponins, aristolactams, bisbenzoylisoquinoline alkaloids. That's a long one. Anthraquinones, coumarins, all types of terpenes, amino acids, and peptides. You got the duck flower is a lot. The duck in mythology represents graceful passage across water, migration, and emotional fluidity. In many indigenous cosmologies, the duck is a guide between earth and water realms. Much like how this plant acts as a guide between toxicity and clarity. So the duct is migration of energy. Duct is a pathway of energy. Duct flower, an agent of energy migration through pathways. Okay. Ducts are dielectric waveguides. They allow fluid, frequency, and force to move. Duct flower reopens these waveguides by shocking the body into releasing stored waste, trauma, and incoherence. This mirrors other threshold plants like ayahuasca or iboga, but through a purely physical purge as opposed to a psychedelic one. Okay. So this ain't for kids. All right. And if you're too old and a little too fragile, you know what I mean, then yeah, I wouldn't say this is for you either, Green apples is cool, but it's gonna make it real tart. I would say go gala. Gala's the way to go for sure. Uno momento, y'all. Let's see. Okay. All right. So let's see. All right. Any questions? Any questions, y'all? Any questions? Let's see what we got. I'm going to wait for y'all to write a question as I look something up real quick. see what we got. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's see what we got. So far, we got, can Usher syndrome be reversed? Okay. Yeah, this Usher syndrome is when, people go to Las Vegas and they go see Usher and they just lose all sensibility, like no home training, and they end up on social media. And it's like, really? No, that ain't what Usher syndrome is. Usher syndrome is it's a disease of the eye and it's a disease of the ear. So what I would say is yes, the Duckflower is definitely going to help with that because it's going to help release a lot of the gunk and mucus that's in there. But one of the greatest things that you could do is to get the Nesu nectar honey, drop your eyes and drop your ears. Yes, drop your eyes and drop your ears. So yeah, get the Nesu nectar, drop your eyes about 2 to 3 times a day, drop your ears about twice a day each side, let it drip down and soak it up. That'll definitely help. But the duck flower, it's going to, yes, um, remove, all of that, all of those that stagnant material, that stubborn stagnant material that does not want to move and go anywhere, you know. Let's see. Okay. All right. Pardon me, y'all. There's always multiple things going on at one time around here. All right. Let's see what else we got. Hopefully that answered your question. Usher syndrome. But nah, them women do be catching that Usher syndrome up there eating them cherries and stuff. That's. All right. Great juice to detox my menstrual cycle. I got something perfect for you. Any women that are on right now that are having irregular menstrual cycles, PCOS, hormonal imbalance, um, postpartum, premenopause, any of those things, fibroids. I want y'all to email me because there's there's something that I have for you. I'm just gonna put it that way. There's something special I got for y'all. So go ahead and send me an email. Say you was watching the live and you're interested in, whatever I have towards your issue, and you can list what that issue is. But anything female oriented is good for you. Yeah, after 2 strokes, that's gonna be the honey. You want to drip the eyes because the honey's gonna go back behind the eyes into the brain. It's gonna get places that you can't get just taking a pill or a capsule. Yeah, I have a parasite kit on the site. It is called a parasite purge. And I said anybody who buys a parasite purge after this particular video, which is today, June 27th, and I started like an hour ago. So like 4 o'clock, starting at like 4:30 today and after, they're going to get a free Duckflower with their parasite purge. So you would take the Duckflower first, go through that purge, blah, let all that go. And after you replenish with your electrolytes, your coconut water, maybe I would say about maybe 4 or 5 days later, just give your body a little time, then start the actual package. And that package will last about 2 months. And once you're done with that, yeah, them eggs and them parasites ain't gonna know what hit them. But yes, parasite purge gold is what you want. I have a friend who has gone blind over time, and she is hopeful that something can help her reverse the effects. Yeah, get the honey, get the Nest Suit Nectar honey on the site right now, on sale, 30% off. Get the drops, drop her eyes. Have her ground, have her sun gaze in the morning during sunrise and sunset, not during the day when the sun is very aggressive. Ground, sun gaze, drop those eyes. Right? Those are the things that you want this person to do. Do I have any information on dates and ghee? You eat dates and ghee, like dates and butter and clarified butter? Like you mix them together or something? Is that what you do? I don't know about dates and ghee, but ghee is a clarified butter that a lot of the Indians and the Hindu utilize in a lot of their food and their cooking. You know, it's based on cows, obviously. It's a dairy product, butter. Um, I don't know what you want to know, whether it's good or it's not good. If that's what you're asking, and whether something's good or not for bodies is usually based on phenotype. What's good for somebody from the Caucasus Mountains, Transylvania, and the UK might not be the same for somebody who's in the Sudan or in South Africa or somebody in Jamaica or somebody in Mexico, somebody in New York versus somebody in Arkansas. It's going to be different, But as it goes for dates is good no matter where you at. That's a melanated fruit. And I don't mean like, oh, it's black. You know what I mean? Like black people fruit. No. What I'm saying is there's melanin in it. That's why it's blackish brown like that. That blackish brown color that is melanin. So when you eating dates, you're getting a very, very healthy sugar. You're getting melanin, you're getting a lot of other minerals in there that are very good for the body. So yeah, dates are good. Will I have any products available this week? We talk about the mountain. The mountain, I don't know. I should be able to make it to the mountain for sure. And if I do, I'll have some honey. I'll probably have some honey droppers and some miscellaneous items in my bag. I might have a nice little grab bag of goodies. We'll see. We'll see. Looking up slowly, detox myself and my autistic son, who is an adult, from heavy metals. Do you offer help on your site as well? Yeah, well, I give a lot of advice on that. You want to deal with the gut, first of all. So you want to get that microbiome in order. You want to do a lot of grounding, in regards to that as well. The honey helps a great deal because it helps with the any inflammation in the brain. The phyto omega-3 is going to help a lot with that also. And then keeping them away from a lot of devices. If they have to be on devices, you got to get them blue blockers. You have to really govern the interaction with these non-native electromagnetic frequencies. They affect people who are autistic on a whole nother level. So you have to be mindful of all of that, but yeah. Periodic or regular heartbeats. I haven't put it up on the site yet, but I have Flor de Manita, which is called hand flower. That's real good for the heart. Because I have it and it's not on the site, you can't get it right now. But Victor has it. If he's in stock, or you could just Google it. That's a good one. Lily of the Valley is great for the heart. Just be mindful. It's a very strong plant. You don't want to get carried away with that. And then you also have motherwort. Motherwort is very good for the heart as well. You got hawthornberry. you got any of the anacardiae fruits. These are the fruits that are shaped like hearts, like mangoes and soursops and sugar apples in the anacardiae family. They're going to all help with the heart. Grounding is going to help stabilize your chart, so it's going to help with your heartbeat as well. Breath work is going to help with that also, so you want to keep those things in mind. Okay, great. Yeah, I think I have one console slot left on the site. Would it be cool to start with half a leaf to get started first time? When you say half a leaf, are you talking about the duck flower? Because it's not a leaf, it's a flower. And no, take the whole thing. But if I'm wrong in what you're asking, just be more specific in the question. I'll make sure I still answer it. What are good herbs to use for motor functions? Because my wife is a chef with brain cancer and sometimes her hands don't work properly. And we've been trying to find out what we can do holistically. Okay. Yeah. So once again, the honey is real good for that. Um, Lion's mane is real good for that. Um, these type of mushrooms are real good for that. The magic kind. All right. My Phyto Omega 3 is real good for that. Yeah, purging the body, getting that stuff out, whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. So you might want to think about the duck flower, you might want to think about the paradise purge. All of these things might help and might assist, in regards to that. Visceral fat removed from belly. That's going to be green juice. Doing some real good walking every day. You want to get mobile. You want to do some ab set and ab workout. You want to be mindful of your hormones. Your cortisol is shooting up. You might be up late on your phone scrolling or something like that. Or something is stressing you, causing your cortisol to spike. You want to get that cortisol under control. You also might want to get some milk thistle and get that liver. You know what I'm saying? Your liver is kind of sluggish right now. So I would say that. Will you have any of your products on hand this weekend at your brother's event? Um, I don't know. I believe I'm gonna hit the mountain. I might pop up through there. You know what I mean? I got a few things happening this weekend. I'm getting kind of pulled in multiple directions, but I'm gonna do my best to step through, and see, if the people are looking for me, I'll have to make that move. What about flour for CLL? CLL. I'm gonna look it up because I don't know it by CLL. Let's see, what is CLL? Oh, okay. Boom. I got you. You are talking about leukemia. So, yeah, for any of those things that are the C word, I would say so, because most of the time when you're told that you have that is based on growths, right? And the growths that they see um, through the X-rays or the MRIs or whatever, the CAT scans, whatever they scan in order to give you your images, and they like, oh, look at this white ball, right? Usually those are parasites. So most of the time when people are dealing with any condition, they need to get rid of the parasites inside of the body. That's what's wreaking havoc, So, yeah, I would say that would definitely assist and that would definitely help, But yeah, circadian rhythm is the best thing for everybody. Anybody asking any questions off health right now? Circadian rhythm, look that up. Circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm. That's what you want to study. That's what you want to know. That's how you get your body back. That's how you get your mind back. Just send a new email to the top. Don't stop. Yeah, send another one. And we get a lot of emails too, man. You know what I mean? I don't know if y'all be thinking I get like 5 emails and you're like one of 5. You're like, you ain't responded. It'd be a lot of people because remember my info at Sonic Botanicals is on my social media. I have some videos that are like 3 million views, so what's 10% of 3 million views? Imagine all those people sending an email. And no, the email ain't always about my order and everything like that. They asking questions, they want to know further about this, that, and the third, and we have to kind of comb through like all that stuff, and sometimes we don't get to yours immediately. So just, I would say just send two, send three, because it's gonna end up getting to the top and we're gonna see it and we're gonna respond. Okay. Do you still have that honey for the eyes? Of course I do. It's on the site right now and it's on sale. Okay, you have your wife email me for that. Cool. What's the email? It's info@soionicbotanicals.com. Info, INFO at soionicbotanicals.com. Okay. How much of the duck flower should be taken? I'm not sure if this question was asked. Yeah, you get one. When you order it, you get one. You eat the whole thing. Thank you. You're welcome. Help with fibroids. Yeah. Email any women or men that are trying to help their women with PCOS, that's polycystic ovarian syndrome, fibroids, amenorrhea, which is irregular menstruation, premenopause, postpartum, hormonal imbalances, fertility issues. Okay, any of those things. I want y'all to email info@soionicbotanicals and say I was watching the live and I'm interested in whatever this thing is that you have for these particular issues. All right. That's what I want y'all to do. You keep asking about half a leaf. Half of what leaf? Half of what leaf, Aunt Mo? We ain't talking about no leaves here, man. I need you to be specific. What are we? Leaf of what? I had a retinal detachment and my vision was shot in my right eye for years. After one bottle of honey, I can see far and I can read tiny print. I'm taking the honey directly in my eye forever. Look at that. We had a retinal detachment that got here. This is what I be trying to tell y'all people, man. What do you recommend for cardiomyopathy? Same stuff that I talked earlier about the heart. I talked about, this was probably just 15 minutes ago, if even that long ago. So you can go back in the video. When I started answering questions, one of the questions was that. So same thing. Honey and Bantana for sure. When you bring back the skin salve, when I make some, because y'all is on me on that. Even my friends and everybody, like, bro, if I can't get no salve, they like, I'm starting to look like a lizard out here. So all the herpes outbreaks, people should take the Duckflower. Duckflower would be definitely something good to take based on that particular condition for sure. With the H-Pack that I promoted, that was never part of those people over the 2 years. So I wasn't going to implement nothing that we hadn't used, but it could be part of that protocol that we put together. I just didn't have any in stock. So it's like, I'm not going to offer it and I can't ensure that I can have it for you, but now that I have some, I have been considering incorporating it in there. Thank you, Adrian. Okay. Yeah, man. Just rewind a little bit and I talk about a few herbs dealing with the heart. And you can always get a consultation with me too, man. What's up, KT? Are you starting back? Oh yeah. Sooner than later. Sooner than later. KT, will we ever be able to purchase the blue honey? Yeah. I sell those at events, not on the site, and you can see why. So you got to catch me when I'm out and about. What would you suggest for brain fog, KT? Fido, Geefy tea, and honey drops to the eyes for sure. What do I suggest for the brain? Lion's mane, honey drops to the brain, Phyto Omega 3, vitamin D, Sotriol D. I like boiling dates in tea. Does heating them up have any negative effects? I don't think so, because people make date syrup, and I don't think that's bad. I just bought a parasite package. I'm excited. I love. Thank you very much. How I feel after fast and detoxes. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. So if you just got one just now, you get a free Duckflower. Okay, okay. Prices are insane. Prices are insane. I don't know if you noticed, but prices are insane everywhere, everywhere. And I don't know if you ever looked up LASIK surgery. I'm not even about to get into all that. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. You think the prices is astronomical and too much? Hey man, that's how you feel. For some people, people don't mind spending money when they know they're guaranteed results and an effect. And that's what people been dealing with lately. Let's see. I think I gotta might have to take this. Um Okay. Give me 1 second, y'all. Keep asking questions. I'm going to keep answering your questions. I think I might have to take a call real quick. My apologies. I was going to hang up, but I ain't going to do that to y'all. So just hold tight. Let's see. Yeah, I lost like 30 people. Where's where my shades go though? I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. I'm sorry about that. Yep. I am sorry about that. Pardon me, pardon me. But I'm here. I'm here. I might answer your questions. I'm sorry. Let's see. Let's see. As I was getting ready to say that a journalist had that done and her co-workers claim that was the reason she died. I don't know how true it was, so enlighten me. Oh, I don't know what that is. Can you rid your body of multiple liver cysts with one cyst in the right kidney? Yeah, I have a kidney tea called Té de Réunion on the site on sale right now, and I have a bunch of liver herbs as well. Quadrillalache, Chaparro Amargo, Quassia. Do you have any products for cleaning teeth? I do, but they're out right now. That's the Electric Daisy. But Holistic Heights has a great tooth powder though, for sure. Um, I wanted to talk about LASIK surgery because somebody was saying how expensive my prices were, but LASIK surgery is thousands of dollars, and a bottle of Nessuit Nectar is about $100 something, and you could actually regenerate, heal the eye as opposed to dealing with surgery and stuff for a fraction of the cost. So that's where I was going, and then I just was like, I don't gotta prove nothing, you know. Um, Blood purifiers is going to be Mucale and Mucale, Canaroja, and Cucumeca. You know, let's see what you got. Oh, if you get the Parasite Purge Gold, if you get the Parasite Purge Gold package on the site, which is an entire Parasite Purge, you'll get the Duckflower included in it. Anybody who's purchasing today. Okay. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Okay. See what else we got. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Let's see. Mm, okay, I think any fruits you okay, so diabetes and fruit. So the thing about fruits is, of course, if you're just eating like a bunch of grapes, fruits that are like extremely sweet, and that's all you're doing. But the thing about eating fruits is the sugar in fruits is not the same sugar as added sugars or syrups and agaves and things like that. These sugars are complexes. They are combined with minerals, vitamins, and other properties inside of these foods. So they have a lower glycemic index. A lot of these fruits they break down easier. Watermelons, melons, berries, tamarind, you know, things of that nature, apples and pears and all of the pit fruits, the apricots, the peaches, the plums, the real watery things. All of those are going to be very beneficial for sure. Let's see. I need to. All right, let's see what your question is. Make sure they all have seeds in them. Yes. What is the best way to get stomach and digestion health and weight loss? I have some real good herbs for that. Purple sea moss, conscious crispus is going to be good for that. The Sotriol D, the Phyto Omega 3, the Perilla oil, Geefy tea. And I have a number of digestion herbs on the site as well. And you can get a gang of those. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, yeah, get that sea moss in. Okay, okay. All right. I think that's about it. Then I thought there was gonna be a lot more questions. I think I knocked them out. All right, so I jumped on real quick to give y'all some information on Duckflower, aka duct flower, a flower that is there to purge all the ducts of the body and get the fluids, the energy, the liquids to flow more harmoniously within the system, which will help you mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I'm gonna leave that one out, right? Yeah, for those of y'all that get a Paradise Purge Gold package today, you'll get a free duck flower in there. There are also some duck flowers available. Also the 2.5 gallon, 10-liter honey. I'm gonna show you what that look like. This guy right here, this thing right here. That's a big boy right there. You get one of those. It's not for sale on the site, but it's available on the site for inquiry. You reach out to us, then we talk about what the price is for that. If you just want it all on its own outside of the wholesale opportunity. Other than that, man, I just wanted to touch base with y'all. It's very hot right now. What y'all need to do is stay hydrated. Watermelons, cucumbers, watercress, spring water, coconut water. Stay hydrated. You know what I mean? To keep your body nice and cool, but take advantage of all that energy and all that sun at the same time. All right. Love and light. Thanks for joining me. I'll see y'all soon. Peace.